This is an Ariel Atom 4. For your money, you're getting one of the most raw and exciting driving experiences you can buy. If you want an Ariel for the road or for the racetrack, this is the one you buy. Or is it?
Because for road and track use, Ariel now offers an alternative to the Atom 4. Until now, the Nomad has been Ariel's off-roader, the one for tearing around fields and rally stages. But this is the new Nomad R, and it's a bit different.
You can tell by the tyres, which are much more road biased. No enormous knobbly tyres here. That's because the Nomad R is not a Nomad for gravel and mud and grass, but for asphalt. In fact, Ariel says this car is like a tarmac rally car.
The suspension is more road biased too. This car has the optional Öhlins dampers. At less than 700 kilograms, the Nomad R is heavier than an Atom 4, but it's still a flyweight by overall standards. Just 5 Nomad Rs will be built. They cost £77,400 a piece, around 44 grand more than a basic Nomad and twice the price of a base Atom 4.
Ariels don't so much have interiors as the place where you sit. It's about as Spartan as road legal cars get, this thing. Although it is a Nomad, so there's a proper windscreen. We also have these Perspex panels down here, so you at least get protected from the worst of the weather and from most of the wind as well. The seating position in here is really lovely. Actually, I would have this seat moved back probably 1 notch just to get really comfortable. But you feel so connected to the car. Beautiful motorsport style, suede trimmed steering wheel here. But I want to talk about this paddle to the right. That's for the sequential gearbox, 6-speed gearbox. Pull it towards you to change up and push it away to change down. When you're on the move, you just don't use the clutch pedal. You only use that to get going and to stop the car from stalling when you're coming to a halt again. That's lovely. It means you can left foot brake if you want to, and we'll talk about that once we get moving.
Ariel Nomad R. This windscreen means you don't really have to wear a helmet in a Nomad. You can get away without one. However, it's only 2 degrees outside today. 2 degrees Celsius. It's almost freezing. I think without this helmet, I'd be hypothermic within 20 minutes, so I'm wearing a helmet. Of course, what those properly bitterly cold temperatures also mean is that the roads are cold, they're a bit greasy. The tyres, they're rock hard, they're not getting up to temperature at all. It's properly slippery out here. I'm really just tiptoeing along, trying to keep it on the black stuff. There are no driver aids whatsoever. No stability control, no traction control. There's no ABS. If you make a mistake, it stays made unless you do something about it. Woo, I'm on high alert. It's so easy to break traction in any gear. It's so easy to lock the brakes up diving into a corner. It's so easy to run it out of cornering grip and just sort of push on in understeer. So I really have to be cautious.
Ariel says it'll hit 62 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds. With the shorter gear ratio set, it tops out at just 121 miles per hour. The gearbox is a motorsport style Sadev 6-speed sequential. The Yokohama Advan tyres are semi-slicks, designed for dry roads and racetracks.
I said we'd talk about left foot braking. This might be the easiest car to left foot brake in that I've ever come across. The pedal is firm, but it's not rock solid, so it's so easy to modulate with that less sensitive left leg. It feels fantastic. When you drive a car like this, left foot braking, and you're balancing it with your left foot, slowing the car down with your left foot, You're accelerating with your right foot, steering with both hands. You've got all four limbs working to balance the car, to drive it smoothly. Someone once said to me that driving a car like that, left foot braking, is like flying a car. It's a perfect way to describe it. Makes you feel like a rally driver. Although, given how easy it is to snatch a brake and lock up on a day like today, I'm a bit happier using my more reliable, trustworthy right leg. They say this car is supposed to be like a tarmac rally car, and it really is. It's so immediate, so direct and responsive. My God, there's no filter between the machine and you. It's fantastic. I love this sequential gear shift. The gearing is so short that when you're accelerating, you just keep pulling the pedal, keep pulling the pedal, keep throwing gears at it, like you're a rally driver.
Unlike other Nomads, the R uses a 2-litre Honda engine, supercharged to lift power to 340 horsepower.
I love supercharged engines in light cars. They're just so well suited to one another. This one's got really good torque, but it doesn't just dump torque at the rear wheels like a turbo engine would. It's progressive and linear, and it revs. You rev the nuts off this thing. It goes to 8,000 RPM, and it just pulls all the way through. It's such a sweet engine. Sounds good as well. When you get this thing going, it is properly quick in a straight line. Almost frighteningly quick. Oh, the engine is a beast. It's fantastic. The steering is completely unassisted. When you get going, it's not that heavy. But it's so connected. It's so direct, so accurate, so detailed. You feel everything. This being the Nomad R, it doesn't have the same very plush suspension as the normal Nomad. It doesn't have very big squishy tyres and masses of wheel travel, which means the ride is much more connected, much firmer. But it still works really well on this slightly smoother section. There's a rougher stretch of tarmac here, and the chassis, the suspension just feels compromised on that, too firm. But on this section here, where it's much smoother, the chassis works perfectly. The car feels light. Despite being on this much firmer suspension, there is still quite a lot of body movement. It dives under braking. It rolls back under acceleration. You feel it leaning corners. This car is so raw, everything about it. As I said, unfiltered. You're so exposed to the elements, to the sound. So in tune with the car. In this thing, 40 miles an hour feels like a million. And that's the thing about fast cars. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. It matters only how fast you feel like you're going. And that's what the latest generation of hypercars misunderstand as far as I'm concerned. This thing is so much more exciting. And you don't have to go bonkers fast.
With just 5 Nomad Rs being built, normal considerations go out the window. It's expensive at the thick end of 80 grand, and yes, an Atom 4 is more fun on the road, and a standard Nomad more compelling because of its off-road capability. But that misses the point. These cars will be bought by Ariel fanatics who will consider their collections incomplete without the maddest car Ariel builds right now. Thank you for watching this PistonHeads video. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and head over to PistonHeads.com.